Our topic is about women in history and their importance. Women were not treated equal for a long time, and in many ways, like in politics, payment, work, and other things. In the past decade and this coming one, there have been lots of opportunities for women to make a ripple in the pool of modern society. Women have a voice now that they didn't have in the past. They have a chance to make a change. For many years, women were not allowed to vote for any political spot, and there was no chance of women running for any spot in the government. We decided to pick this topic so we can inform people about how women were unfairly treated and how far we have come since then. One person who really made a difference was a woman named Fannie Lou Hamer. She was one of the first women to try to vote and succeed. She was not as well known to people, but she made big changes a long time ago that affected our society today. She was an African American woman who, at the age of 12, left school to help her family work. She wanted to make a difference and wanted to help people change what everyone expected women to be like. She eventually decided to gather a group of women, black and white, to attempt to vote. Their first attempt failed in 1962 at a small county named Indianola. Even though she failed, it wasn't going to stop her. Fannie was even fired for trying to vote. But that didn't change Fannie's wishes to become accepted in the eyes of society. Soon, she registered to vote. She was successful. She decided to go and celebrate with a group of African American women. They all sat in a whites-only part of a bus station restaurant and was sent to jail because of it. In jail, she was brutally beaten by her other cellmates, and she had some serious injuries.
When I walked in with the two white men that carried me down, and they cursed me all the way down. They would ask me questions, and when I would try to answer, they would tell me to hush. And when I walked inside of the booking room, one of the policemen went over and jumped up on one of the Negroes' feet that was with us, and then they just began to, put us in cells. And I was put in a cell with Miss Sylvester Simpson, and after I was put in this cell, I could just hear some horrible screams and horrible sounds, of licks. And I saw one of the girls was 15 years old, was with us, and she passed my cell, and she was real bloody. And then they asked the little man that cleaned up the jail to go inside and mop up that blood. And then I heard some more screaming, and I heard some awful sounds.
But when she got out of jail, Fannie decided she still wanted to make a difference. Thus, she began a pig bank for African American farmers. It was so that they could raise, slaughter, and breed pigs for money. She worked with the Freedom Farm Cooperative that broke another barrier by helping a lot of African American farmers get the money they needed. Sadly, Fannie Lou Hamer died in 1977 due to breast cancer, but her memory still lives on. And like she said, nobody's free until everybody's free. The meaning of her saying this shows that she wanted everyone to be equal and have the same rights, no matter your gender or the color of your skin.
Shirley Chisholm was a brave woman that you have probably never heard of before. She was the first African American woman in Congress. She is the perfect representation of breaking barriers in history. Yet before she became the first black woman in Congress, she had a long journey. Let's go back all the way to where she started. She was born on November 30th, 1924 in Brooklyn, New York. She received most of her primary education in the Barbadian school system and later graduated from Brooklyn College in 1946 to pursue the career of teaching. That's where she got her motivation to stand up for educational justice. When she first got a job in Congress, she was assigned to the House Authority Committee. Yet she wasn't satisfied. Shocking everyone, she proceeded to ask for reassignment, and they accepted her offer. She was later placed in the Veterans Affairs Committee, where she graduated to the Education and Labor Committee. Shirley served for 7 years in the U.S. House of Representatives in New York from 1969 to 1983. After becoming the first black congresswoman, she ran for the 1972 presidential election, becoming the first major African-American party candidate to run for president. But it was a long battle. She stood in the faces of worry and doubt, but that didn't stop her. Her slogan was "Unbought and Unbossed." Most of the Democratic political elite dismissed her, and her black male colleagues offered her no support. She was running against all white men, and she was running to win. Not only that, she fought for social and educational justice. Shirley worked hard and lived an eventful life. However, every good thing must come to an end. She died on January 1st, 2005 because of a stroke, but her memory lives on. For many years, women have not been treated the way that they should. But thanks to these brave women, society has changed for the better. Fannie Lou Hamer and Shirley Chisholm have changed minds and opinions of women's rights. Fannie Lou Hamer voted, and she was not only a woman who fought for her rights, but she also fought for African Americans to be treated equally. Shirley Chisholm was the first African American woman of Congress. She had the courage to run for a political spot and helped many African American women believe. And there are many African American women that helped fight for the rights of women and other African Americans. However, these specific women stood out as great leaders. And as history progressed, more and more women are working hard to get more political rights. For example, just a couple years ago, Hillary Clinton ran for president and almost won. Now we have Kamala Harris running for the 2020 election. And ever since Michelle Obama became the first lady, she has worked hard to make a difference. And according to today's statistics, 37.3% of women in Congress are black, which is a huge step from when it used to be 0%. This is what we call breaking barriers, doing what others wouldn't dare to do.